Hey everybody, Rob Endsley here from the Outdoor Line Radio Show. We have our good friend John Martinis in studio once a month with us here on the Outdoor Line. John's got John's Sporting Goods up in Everett. And last month, I think we talked trolling for salmon for blackmouth out in the Puget Sound is a big hit. But you know what? Things are kind of getting going on the Kokanee front now. And this is the kind of the quickest growing part of our fishing industry here in the Northwest is the kokanee thing. And a lot of these fish are starting to bite early this year. So you brought a bunch of great kokanee tackle in to the show today. Of course, we talked about it during the tech line on the show as well, the Daiwa tech line. Now we're going to show you some of the stuff that guys are using to catch fish here in Western Washington. It's already starting to happen, John. Why don't you run us through some of this tackle that you brought in, kind of show us how to rig up for these great kokanee that people are catching.
Well, the guys are, queuing in on this little bit of good weather that we're having, a little teaser weather we get here early in the season. But the fish are biting right now, not in a great way, but it's getting better every single day in eastern and western Washington for these kokanee. So we brought the appropriate gear so that people can just get the gear and they can get right in the ball game right away, because we want them to catch fish, and so you're going to have the right gear on. And so, one of the most basic rigs is a small 4/0 Dodger, or you could use a little bit bigger sling blade Dodger. This Dodger is made by Dick Knight, but small is better for kokanee. This little LP shrimp squid is made by Gold Star, and you can see, Rob, that I have a UV insert in here. And
yeah, I was going to ask you if they came that way or if you did it. So that's actually a little UV insert with the little squid over top of it, isn't it?
Yes, and okay. This is all tied up, so you don't have to worry about going gathering all these material. Gold Star, Silver Horde makes this stuff, and you notice how long the hooks are on there, Rob? That hook is hanging out well beyond the squid, and you're going to put a little piece of bait on one of those hooks right there.
Now, let's get to the bait thing at the end there, because that's really important here. But I want to get back to that hook deal here that you were mentioning. With salmon, a lot of times you'll tie those hooks right next to one another. But during the show, during the tech line today, you mentioned having that trailing hook back behind the hoochie a little bit, because these things, they like to get up in there and they like to chase. They got really soft mouths, and that trailing hook, if you got it hanging out the side of the back of the hoochie, it's really important, and you'll really increase your hookups by doing that, won't you, John?
Yeah, the rule of thumb is that you got to hook 3 kokanee to put 1 in the boat. Now you don't want to get it to 1 and 4 and 1 and 5. You want to keep it within the realm of 1 and 3. So tie that hook real long. If you have those hooks inside that squid, you're really going to put yourself at a disadvantage. So tie these hooks real long, so when you get hooked up, you'll get both hooks in the fish, and you're going to have a better chance of putting those fish in the boat.
And then what about leader length? Now a lot of guys, try to translate the salmon deal over to kokanee, and it doesn't really work. I mean, we're talking really short leaders here, maybe 8 to 12 inches, right?
That's right. 12-inch leader is on the outside of what you should have, and a lot of the experts are saying use 8 and 10. And when you tie this up, you take a look at that and you think, oh no, that's way too short. But tie it up with 8-pound fluorocarbon leader material and keep them short, and then you'll have the right rig.
Okay, so we got Dick Knight little Dodgers here. What's the name of that? What's that color right there?
This is called Mother of Pearl.
Okay, that's Mother of Pearl. And then the sling blade. You hear about the sling blade all the time. This is a really popular one. You can flatline these. Of course, you run them off the downriggers as well. But talk about some of the colors with this sling blade as well.
Sling blade, you can get them in the traditional colors. You can get them in pure silver. You can get them with a green facing on here. You can get them with UV. This happens to be a pinkish red facing. And same thing again, just an 8-inch leader. Just because you're changing the type of dodge you're using, don't change the length of the leader. So they have completely different types of action. So give each one a try. It's like salmon fishing. It can be different on any day of the week.
Well, and you want to have 2 or 3 rods out with different rigs on them. Let's look at that hoochie mama you got rigged up there. You took a wedding ring spinner apart and put the blade on the front, and then you put the bulk of the spinner on the back of that hoochie. Talk about that and how you rigged that up, John.
This is a really good trick. I took a wedding ring spinner and I took it apart. I took the blade off of it, and then I put this hoochie over the top of the wedding ring spinner, and you can see the hook is real long out there right to the end of the squid.
Is that a UV, a purple UV hoochie? that UV? What's the name of that?
No, this is just a purple hoochie
Okay,
right here.
okay.
Has a little bit of pink in here, which is real important. This was quite successful when we were catching and releasing kokanee on Lake Sammamish this winter, so we gave that a try. And then we put this blade, this little spinner blade, which came with the wedding ring spinner. We put it back together with a red bead right there between the hoochie. If you don't have that red bead on there, it won't spin. It'll kind of hang up there and twist up your leader. So that is a really good way to hook up there. Just another little combination that can produce fish.
Okay, so now let's talk. We got sling blades, we got little dodgers, we got hoochies. How about bait? Because this is really important. We got some fire corn here. We got some Berkeley gulp maggots. Talk about what guys are doing with this, and maybe some of the scents that guys add to this stuff to make it work, because that's really important.
Now, if you want to make rigging up your bait really easy, just buy the Podski fire corn. It's a shoe-pay corn that's colored, and then you can put some garlic flavor in here. You can put some anise, or you can put some tuna flavor in here. A lot of guys, what they'll do is they won't put all those combinations all in one jar. They'll have 3 jars set up with 3 separate flavors, and then they'll test to see which one works the best.
Yeah, I've been out with a couple guys. They'll have a little Tupperware container, little concoction in each little one, and they'll kind of have one on one rod and kind of have things scattered around. And they start slamming the garlic in particular. Boy, they'll have everything switched out pretty quick, and here come the kokanee. So.
And then there's the gulp maggots. You actually could use real maggots if you want to, but you can use the gulp maggots. Last year on Lake Chelan, these were very, very popular, and they worked quite well.
And they come in pink as well, don't
they?
they?
They come in pink, and they come in chartreuse, and they come in white. So a lot of guys will put these on one hook, and they'll put the shoe-pay corn on the other hook.
I know those are really popular, these artificial maggots. Well, that's a great rundown of kind of getting rigged up for kokanee coming up here. And I'm telling you what, these things are starting to bite already. Usually this doesn't really happen till like April. But we've already seen a lot of kokanee coming out of these lakes. American Lake in particular down by Tacoma, it's already kicking out kokanee down there. Chelan's kind of going crazy over there already. Kokanee mania is kind of taking off here right now. So go out, get your stuff rigged up right now. From this video, I'd read some stuff online. Get rigged up so that when it really starts taking off on your lake, you're ready to rock and roll.
I think the cue is what you said right here, is to have all these combinations all tied up. Don't get out on the lake and start tying this stuff up. Have these rigs, have them in a Ziploc bag, and make it so you can change over real quickly.
Yeah, right on. Well, there you go. There's your last cast video here on how to rig up for kokanee. Don't forget to tune in to the Outdoor Line radio show on Saturday mornings here on 710 ESPN Seattle from 6 to 8. And John, we'll see you again here in another month. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
See you next month.
Right on. Thanks for watching.